The USS Hoga is probably the most unique project that anybody, maybe this side of the Mississippi River, has ever taken on.
The Hoga here, as far as it relates to the Brownfields program, it is extremely unique. It is the only seagoing vessel that I know of that has ever used any brownfield funds to be remediated.
On December 7, 1941, the Hoga was berthed at her normal berthing next to a pier. When all the fighting started, she got underway and headed towards the harbor itself, where she saw the Arizona had been hit. She was fighting fires on the Arizona when she saw the Nevada actually get underway. The Japanese saw that the Nevada was moving and thought prime opportunity was to sink in the channel and close down Pearl Harbor for probably a couple of years. So they all started bombing her and torpedoing her, and she started to sink. The Hoga saw that, and she immediately left her position, ran over, and started pushing on the Nevada to beach her on the sandbar next to the channel so she wouldn't block the channel. There are reports that she picked up about 100 people out of the water during the time when there were still bullets flying and bombs exploding.
You know, the history behind both of these ships are absolutely amazing, with the Hoga being at Pearl Harbor during the initial attack, and then the Razorback being in Japan at the close of World War II. So I think there's only one other port anywhere that has a ship from both of those events.
Once we opened the doors and got inside and started looking at what actually had to be done inside, we had to kind of sit back and figure out, how are we going to do this?
Well, a brownfield property is a blighted property that is contaminated with maybe asbestos or lead-based paint. The purpose of a brownfield is to assess what those contaminants are and then provide a grant to get that assessment and the remediation done so they move forward with their redevelopment.
It's a good source of money that can be used specifically for environmental cleanup portions. This Hoga was really a flagship project for the Brownfield program because there's never been one like it. The Brownfield program deals with real property with a real physical address.
When we say property, we mean real property, and that's defined as a piece of ground. So it's difficult to define a boat or a ship as real property. That was the real snag. Key players were Pulaski County's Brownfields program. The director of Pulaski County Community Services, Frederick Love, and the manager of our Brownfields program, Josh Fout. Josh went to the assessor's office to say, hey, we got to classify this USS Hoga as real property. They looked it up in the rules, said, nope, that's not real property. That's floating in the river.
We had to do a lot of different things to get it a permanent address. And one of the things we did that was unique, that's not been done before, was we signed an easement over to the historic preservation people. Once we did that, then it became a permanent address where we are located, which opened up the Brownfield grant possibilities.
The environmental and the Brownfield grants that we got through the EPA and through Pulaski County has certainly put this project over the top so that we can finish it.
When we first stepped in here, there was literally lead paint almost 6 inches deep. This old paint, I guess being it was a seagoing vessel, the lead content in it was some of the highest we've seen. The entire project to complete took about 4.5 weeks. So proud we could be a part of this deal and get it to where these guys can get it restored and let people come through and see this boat. I think it'll be a jewel for the community.
Certainly it serves the public to make us aware of what went on in World War II, but it also is an economic impact.
We've had people from all 50 states and 77 countries just this year. It's one thing to see it in a book, it's another thing to touch it.
You know, it's such a special attraction to remember the greatest generation and to further, respect and develop that appreciation for the service members who sacrifice so much for the freedom of this country.